Hi everyone, I'm Cherie and today I'm doing roll icing cookies. So I use the butter cookie recipe. It's very easy to make and it keeps the shape of the cutter that I use very well. I don't have an issue of a cookie spreading out. It just bakes perfectly in the oven. For the next part, you will need to make roll icing. Icing is egg whites, icing sugar, clear vanilla and tartaric acid. So the tartaric acid is basically an egg white stabilizer. It's very bitter, so you don't need to use a lot as well. You can use a pinch of a knife point just to add that in to stabilize your egg whites. And then I prefer clear vanilla. So the clear vanilla, not only does it taste a lot better for me, but when I need to make white roll icing, it does not give it an all white color, it keeps it bright white. So if I want to color my roll icing, I do use Crystal Candy So Intense. The color is literally what it says, So Intense. You hardly use a lot of powder in it, so it's really quite great. And it goes a long way. So when I do mix my colors, I keep a bit aside of the roll icing that I'm going to color. So if you're going to make 6 different colors, just keep enough aside so that you can mix your powder with your plain white roll icing. So the reason for that is you don't want to have any pigments left over in your roll icing, so it doesn't mix properly. So then I would add it in a separate bowl, a smaller bowl with the color that I want. And then I mix that in until it dissolves. Then I add it to my bigger bowl of what I want the colors to be in. So the roll icing is your top part of your cookie, almost like a zoo cookie. So what I do is I add my egg whites into the glass bowl, and then I add my tartaric acid into that bowl. Then I mix it lightly to break up the egg whites. Then I add my icing sugar. So my icing sugar, I use Salati or Hewlett. A very good quality icing sugar. It's very refined, not like your baking shop's icing sugar. I just prefer this one because you don't have very coarse particles or granules left in your icing sugar. So after you've added your icing sugar, you mix that in. You can even use just a hand mixer. Everyone has hand mixers. It just makes life a little bit easier and it's a lot quicker. So mix that in. To get the right consistency, I use my 5-second rule. So it's not the one that you think of. My 5-second rule is when you use your spatula and you draw a line through your mixture. You'll see it leaves the thing. So that thing needs to disperse back into each other after 5 seconds. So if it mixes back in quicker than 5 seconds, you know that your roll icing is too runny, then you need to add a little bit more icing sugar. If it's too thick, it's going to take too long to disperse that line. Then what I normally do is I take a couple of drops of boiling hot water and I add that into the mixture. So when I say a couple, I mean 2 or 3. You don't want it to be over runny and then keep mixing and mixing, and then you tend to lose the consistency of the roll icing that you want. So remember your colors. Afterwards I do mix that in once I've got my roll icing. I'm doing an Easter theme, so I'll be making bunnies, making little bunny feet, making a cracked egg as well, and just a nice little bow on top of a speckled egg. So while I am working with different techniques, I will explain as I go along, because you have quite a few different techniques. You've got your outlining, you've got your flooding, then you've got your wet on wet technique. That is when the icing, after you've flooded your cookie and you do a couple of dots, it merges into the roll icing. So that's your wet on wet. So that afterwards when it's dry, it's a flat surface. It's not bumpy. Then you've got your wet on dry. That is when you say you want to do a little bow on top of the cookie, or even do a little bit of whiskers or eyes or a little mouth, or even the feet of a little chick. And then we will do 2 mediums, one when one side is dry and the other side we cut afterwards to give it a look of 2 different mediums. So let's start.
Okay, so here you can see I already made my colors. When you leave your royal icing for quite some time, you will see that the color will start splitting from your bag. So what I do is I just gently massage the color back into my royal icing, and then it's good as new. So you can also see I don't use nozzles. So the reason for that is when it gets clogged, so for instance you have to get up real quick and you have to go and do something, you come back, it's all clogged up, then you need to remove the nozzle and clean it out. So with this I can just use a damp cloth, just wipe off the crusty end, and then I can continue working. So I'm doing an Easter theme. I'm gonna do a little chick that's busy hatching, I'm gonna do a gift wrapped speckled egg, bunny face, bunny nose, and then a bunny bum with little feet at the back. First of all, I am going to start off with my chick that's hatching. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an edible marker, and I'm going to mark out my hatching cracks to where I want my egg to be. So it all depends on what you like. So my bottom part is going to be white. I'm going to start off with my white bag. I am snipping off a very tiny bit at the front end because I want to pipe the lines on the outside so that when I flood, it does not flow over the cookie. So rather start off small and then you can go bigger. So let's start with the outline. I'm using my bottom hand to guide my bag. Now this So what I do with the little bunny face, if I want to do the pink of the ear and I want to create dimension, I am first going to pipe the pink on the inside so that that can dry a little bit more, so that when I do the white of the rest of the bunny, it's not going to mush together. It's going to stay separated and give it a dimension of something that was created with a dividing line between the two colors. You can see here the color is starting to split, so I'm just gently massaging the color back into my bag. Okay, now what I do with the pink, I first pipe a middle line like that, and then I do an outer bun, a hook, and I fill that in like that. So you can either use a scriber like this, or a toothpick, or a pin, and just guide the icing to where you want it. Filling it in between. I'm going to use my scriber just to guide it where I want it in circular motions. And now I'm going to do the outline of the white, just the outline for now. just following the shape of my cookie. Okay, push that aside. Now I'm going to start flooding. So flooding, literally what it means, the icing floods into the outlines. Now you can squish quite hard to get a lot of icing out of the bag at once. I always start off on the outside and then I start piping the rest of the cookie. This is why you need your icing to be a 5-second rule, so that it disperses into each other when you do the lines. Now I'm using my scriber just to guide my roll icing to where I want it to go. I don't like the outline, so I tend to move my icing on top of the line so it disappears. Go, let that to rest. So let's do our little purple speckled egg yarn. We're going to do the outside. Done. So now we're going to do an immediate wet on wet. So that means when you do pipe something immediately after you flooded it, it will emerge into the bottom layer, so that when it dries, it's got a flat surface between the two colors, or 3 or 4 colors, depending on what you want. So the more you push out, the bigger your dot will be. So if I push out a lot, see, I've got a big dot. There I'm dropping just a smaller dot, and another smaller one, and I've got a big one again, a smaller one there. So you can play around with your dots and colors. Add a bit of pink as well. So when this dries completely, we can add the ribbon on top to make it look like it's wrapped. Okay, so I'm not going to do too much. Just shake it a little bit so it oozes in together nicely. So when you lift it up and you look from the side, it's a flat surface. You can let that dry on the side. Okay, so let's do our chick. So I'm going to use my pen again just to give me a guide to where I'm piping my outer line. So we're going to take our yellow here, take a closer look. We are piping the outside line, obviously over the markings that you made. You don't want to see the black on the sides. And then I'm filling still my inside line. And now I'm flooding the middle part. Okay, use your scriber just to blend everything together. Now let that rest for a little bit before we can add the little hair and feet on top. So for the bunny feet, what we're going to do is, now this is dry a little bit longer. So now I want to give it a little toe beams. Everyone knows how cute toe beams are. So I'm going to do quite a thick layer on top, because when you look at it from the side, it's quite chunky, like a toe beam. So this is not completely wet on wet because it will not emerge into the bottom layer. So add quite a bit on top. And let that dry. Let's do the little nose here. So what I do with a pink little wiggly nose, I tie 2 pink dots next to each other so they don't completely blend. But then I take my scriber and I bring them together like that. And cute little nose. Okay, I'm going to take my black icing sugar and I am going to pipe little whiskers. I always start off with my middle one, then I go out to the 2 side ones. You see that one's split. So now I just pipe a new line on top of the other one. I use my tool here and I just blend them over each other. Do the other side here. Pipe my middle line. Let's go. And then I'm going to give him little Bugs Bunny teeth, because why not? And then a couple of small dots there. And there we go. Isn't that cute? Okay, so let's do the face of this little bunny again. 2 dots for the little nodes, not touching, and I am bringing them downward together like that. Tighten my whiskers. You don't want a big opening because you don't want thick whiskers. A couple of dots, obviously. Eyes. I do like no oval eyes because then I can make it a little bit girly. On the sides by giving it lashes. That's sweet, I know. And there we go. The bunny face. Okay, so let's continue working on our chick. Let's do 2 little feet here at the bottom. Triangle for his nose. So now instead of using my icing, I am going to use beads for his eyes. Try and make sure the beads are the same size, because they don't make them the same size, unfortunately. And I am dropping them. You can even use a tweezer. I find the tweezer pops everything everywhere. I've got a little bit better control with my hands. Got cute little eyes there. I'm going to use the yellow again, just to apply 3 tiny hairs at the top. So let's leave that one to dry here. Let's do our wrapped speckled egg. You can do now is, I think I'm going to use that. You are going to create dimension by not going exactly down the middle. And then again, that, and then you go right in the middle where I cross, one loop, another loop, and then you've got your 2 both feet going outward like that. That one to dry. And now for the last one, our little bunny feet, we are going to make a little bunny tail right here in the middle, because we want these 2 feet to sit right there, like adding a little fluffy tail. So what I did is I used my hundreds and thousands, and I'm going to pipe a big ball here on top. That I'm going to sprinkle.
There you go. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us. I will add a link to our website as well as Crystal Candy's website if you're interested in buying their colors. Thanks guys.